I'm Nicholas Penrake, and you're listening to A Trader's Life, the podcast where I get to talk to successful traders about their approach to trading, how they started out and went from broke or breaking even to pulling in thousands of dollars a week. Trading is a tough game. They say only around 5% of those who try actually make a profit. Join me for A Trader's Life to glean some valuable insights from the market wizards I get to talk to. I have with me today Mark Prime, a trader. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Hey, Nick. I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, good. Fine, thanks. I want to dive in straight away with questions around what motivated you to start trading. How did you get into it to begin with?
All right. So I started actually randomly, to be honest. When I was 14 years old, I saw like an ad from a company called eToro. It's a brokerage firm. I saw an ad online, and basically I was 14. Basically they were offering a £20 bonus if you were registering an account with them. I did it with my dad details because at that time I was 14, as I said, and I just tried like randomly. I do remember my first trade basically was on oil. I was trading this CFD on oil, and I made some money. Of course, of course, it was completely, a random thing for me. So I basically gambled those £20, to be honest, and it goes without, the day after, basically, I blew the account, of course.
Naturally.
Of course. So I stopped, of course, because that was a game for me when I was like 13. And when I was 16, 17, roughly, I started taking it more seriously. I started to try to, let's say, study technical analysis and fundamental analysis. And when I was 18, finally, I definitely started with real money because I was trading with Demo when I was 17. So I started, and what motivated me basically because I saw a lot of people with a lot of fancy stuff,
Yeah.
and so I dreamed this kind of lifestyle because I am obsessed with freedom. So that motivates me. When you are a trader, you don't have to stick with one single location, and also you don't have to stick with a certain amount of hour that you put in. You can basically work potentially whenever and wherever you want. So that is what motivates me. So it's freedom.
Yeah. So do you have people in your family who are in finance? I mean, your parents? Or
No,
nothing at all.
My parents aren't in finance. Definitely, my dad is a pastry chef, so he does cooking mainly, stuff like that. And my mom was a teacher, basically in school. No financial background whatsoever.
Yeah. So did you have any kind of a mentor at the beginning?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I was reading a lot of books. One of the books, the book I read was the Pitbull. I don't know if you know that book. It was basically a story of this trader that won some kind of competition, and at that time when I read it, I was so he was my mentor basically. I was reading this book every single day. Also I watched a lot of videos online, YouTube, but I didn't have like a mentor till I was 21, I guess, when I basically met Samuel Leach. I don't know if you heard about him. Is a successful trader. I basically met him. I went to Watford, where he has the office, and basically he had like some sort of program for new traders. And he basically was my mentor. even though I spoke with him just 4 or 5 times. But it was definitely useful and very valuable.
Okay, what were the key things that you learned through him?
Yeah, so first of all, that it's all about percentages. It's not about money. Everything is about your skills and your emotional, your capability of managing your emotions. So it's not about money itself, but it's about the context. So your skills, your state of mind, and this kind of approach. And that was the main, the key thing that I uh, basically took from that journey. And also the fact that he is quite professional in what he's doing. So if you approach this as a hobby, you are going to pay. If you approach this as a job, you're going to make money.
Yeah,
it's different.
Sure. Yeah. Talk us through the first trades that you made as a solo trader, if you can remember that far back.
Yeah, the very first was that random trade that I made when I was 14. Basically, nothing interesting, to be honest, because I saw this. It was a new platform for me. Was eToro. It had like a weird graphic at that time where you were selecting the leverage and stuff like that. So I just bought some oil contract with the full margin that I had in the account, and suddenly after 1 hour it was like doubled. So I made some money there, but that was completely random, and I do not take any merit about that, because I was just yeah, good guess. I guess, yeah. So, but when I started trading seriously when I was 18 years old, I don't remember. The very first trade, but I do remember that period of time where I was struggling a lot, to be honest, because in theory everything in theory, but when you're going to trade with a live account, it seems everything you learned, exactly,
shifting before your eyes.
True.
So, were you so you started with commodities in the sense that you started with oil, and then did you move more to Forex and other instruments?
I do trade currently. I do trade multiple assets, and I do trade stocks. I do trade commodities. I do trade Forex. But I would say my main asset is Forex. Because the main reason that I am, the reason why I do trade Forex, it's because it gives you more freedom, as I said before. Because first of all, you have a market that it is open 24-hour. The second reason is because you can, but you don't have to look at macro economical data,
fundamentals,
exactly. Not that much, to be honest with you. I am mainly a technical trader. So if you look at the fundamentals with Forex, basically everything is already priced, in my opinion. So I do prefer to assess the price action, but at the same time, I find that with Forex, if you have very strong, if you have strong skills, technical skills, you can make a lot of money without caring about the fundamentals, to be honest with you. This is my opinion, though. I know that it's quite strong as a bulk statement, but I think this is my opinion.
Obviously based on experience as well. So
exactly,
yeah. How long was it before you went from mostly losses or breaking even to even profits?
2 years. 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. So did you quickly identify what you were doing wrong, or did it take a good 6 months before you could turn things around?
No, I was struggling a lot, and I didn't know why. So it took me I would say more than 6 months to figure out what I was doing wrong. So definitely more than 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So quite a pile of losses until finally you started breaking even for the
Yeah.
week, perhaps, and then gradually moving into profit. Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how did you cope with the stress and disappointment?
So I wouldn't say heavy losses because when I started with a very small account, and that was one of the best ever choices that I ever made. Because when I started, I guess the very first account was like £500. So it was a very small account. When I was trading, I was risking like 50 to 100 pounds per trade, which is huge with that bankroll. But at the same time, it wasn't that large amount of money, relatively to
Sure.
the full picture. Uh, but yeah, after that, after 1 year and a half, when I started trading with Samuel, that guy that I was mentioning before, I started to basically trade with a bigger account. It was 25k pounds.
Okay. Yeah.
And I had some major losses with that account, like 2k in a day,
Yeah.
2.5k in a day. That was quite, yeah, it's hard when you see the P&L going down. You see the red there.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very.
But you
Yeah.
need to keep just stay chill, stay calm. I know it's hard, it's very hard, but that is the secret.
Was it insight or determination that enabled you to hold on when times got tough?
I would say that was more my why, because when you keep asking yourself why you are doing something and you find a very strong why, probably even though you're having a bad day, you can keep going. And my why was pretty strong at that time, and it still is. So yeah.
When you say your why, do you mean why I'm doing it,
Yeah,
or
exactly. My why,
yeah,
my reason why I'm doing this.
yeah? Do you mean your reason on that particular trade, or your reason overall in
Overall,
trading? Yeah,
overall,
overall.
yeah,
Yeah. So you're going to get through it on that basis, yeah, because
exactly.
this is what you want to do. You want to master it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Did you ever reach a point when you thought trading's maybe not for you?
Yeah, I had a point where I wasn't making any money. Actually, I was losing money, and I was losing consistently. Like it was like whatever I was doing, it was the wrong decision.
Yeah,
So in that time, I thought about it, and I said maybe I just have to give up. But again, when you ask yourself why you started, and that is a strong reason, you
yeah.
will probably again
Get this
yeah,
right. Yeah,
exactly. The turning point was when I took it like a professional. So after a couple of years of studying it, I started to think about percentages and not the money itself. So let me explain this a little bit more, because this is very important, to be honest, in my opinion.
yeah,
When you think about money in trading, you can't make. I mean, some people. They say that basically you can double your money in a very short period of time. And that is true if you gamble. If you are a trader, a professional trader, you never gamble. And in order to do so, you need to divide your capital into multiple, pieces of capital. So let's say you have a good strategy. You have a good strategy that has a positive expectancy. So out of 100 trade, you do expect to win, let's say, 65% of them. That means that if you have 100 trades, so you divide your capital into 100 different pieces, in the long term, you are mathematically
Ahead, yeah.
exactly a winning trader. And this is how I approach the trading desk professionally. If you are going to, risk 25% of your capital in a single trade, it is very, very common to have a streak of 4 trades in red. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. Basically, in that case, you're gambling.
Yeah. So a lot of it is managing your lot size, isn't it? Because when you start out, you sort of think you know how that could go, but of course you don't quite. And even 6 months down the line, you get a few surprises.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all about managing your risk in proportion to the money you've got in your account, basically your margin.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, yeah, I do manipulate my lot size, and I never manipulate my stop loss. This is the biggest mistake that beginners make, is to manipulate the stop loss in function of what you want to trade. Instead, you have to manipulate your lot size in function of your stop loss. This is one of the biggest mistake I see in new traders that they make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you expand on that just a little bit?
Yeah. So let's say you have, I don't know, you have a good trading idea, and you think that euro dollar is going up. In the next few days, you see that euro dollar is going up. So you want to trade, but you want to trade, let's say, a lot, but not just one lot. I mean, a lot. You want to trade, a very big position. So you start thinking about, well, if I trade this kind of amount of money, I am going to risk a lot of my capital. So let's say I'm going to risk 50% of my capital, or 25% of my capital. So maybe I need to have a tighter stop loss. So you start manipulating your stop loss because you want to trade that big amount of money, but you don't want to risk all of your capital. So you are going to drag your stop loss nearer to the entry level. At that point, you're manipulating your stop loss. So basically, your first assessment is not valid anymore, because you are going to manipulate your stop loss, you're going to manipulate your strategy, and you're going to drag your stop loss very tight to the entry, near to the entry point. And at that point, even the smallest oscillation will stop you out, and you are going to keep losing money in this way. Instead, if you are going to manipulate your lot size in function of your stop loss, so let's say at the same example, you already decided where to put your stop loss, and you find out that your stop loss is 100 pips away. You should never move your stop loss at that point, but you need to, decrease your lot size instead. So if you find out that, okay, maybe 100 pips, it's too much for my account, because with this lot size, I will lose 10% of my account. You need to decrease your lot size.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
is
of course,
the answer.
there's always a danger if you put your stop loss too close to your entry point. You could easily get clipped out within the first few minutes of
that's correct.
I don't know, a different session, like the US session starting up, gets quite wild in the first half hour.
Yeah, that's true.
What's a typical day look like for you? Are you an early riser? Are you trading from 8 a.m. In the morning, London time?
I usually do trade London time 10 a.m. to midday. This is usually my main session, to be honest. I am a day trader, so I do trade within the day. That means that, for example, let's say I do open a new trade at 10 a.m. And at 6 p.m. it's still open. I will probably close my position. Some days I do let my trades run if I have enough reason to do that. But most of the time I do trade within the day. My typical day is I wake up, I have a glass of water with a lemon squeezed in. I do find it very, useful to activate your engine inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I go to, I do some workout. I go to the park, or I just, run, or I do something like, around those lines. So I try to work out for a little bit. Then I do some kind of breakfast, mainly just, black coffee, to be honest. And then I start, analyzing the market, analyzing with my own strategy around, 10 a.m. And yeah, I do trade for a couple of hours. Then in the afternoon, I do completely different things. I have other businesses, and I do, for example, I have a YouTube channel. I do edit my videos and stuff like that. So it's quite, it's I don't trade every single time of the day. I don't stare at the computer every single time of the day, but rather I try to place my trades, and then maybe, in the evening, like 6 p.m.
Check on them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will check on them, and then I decide if I want to close them, if I want to change my, take profit, stop loss, or stuff like that. If I want to manage the position, that's my style.
Yeah. Okay. And how have you found trading during these pandemic months? Is it more tricky, more fun?
Yeah, it's a tough question actually, because to be honest, it's been very volatile, and
Yeah.
since I am a trend follower, I did have to change and rewire my strategy a little bit.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, but I did. I had more bad times with Brexit, to be honest.
Okay.
So yeah,
Right.
I lost a couple of thousands in one day during Brexit, because of the elections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes the fundamentals really do
yeah,
put a
exactly.
spanner in
Yeah,
the works, don't they?
that's true. That's true,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially in these cases.
Yeah, exactly. So when you say you change your style a bit, can you expand or even just give us one example of what that means?
Yeah. So when I find that the market is very volatile, I do tend to switch my time frame to a lower time frame, because you can find daily trends within. So let's say you usually use the H4 for longer term trades.
Yeah. 4 hour. Yeah.
Yeah, the 4 hour time frame. You stay, maybe a couple of days, so maybe 1 week, inside the position. But with a volatile market, if you are a trend follower, you can't stay, with the position open for a long period of time, because it's very volatile. So you need to, maybe what I've done, you need to switch to a lower time frame, so you can find those kind of intraday trends. So basically, it's just a smaller picture of the same picture, basically.
Yeah. 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 So if you're following smaller time frames, like
Yeah.
an hour, 30 minutes, do you raise your lot size to get a bigger gain in a shorter period of time?
Yeah, because I have less pips in as a risk,
Yeah.
so I can manipulate my lot size with that. As I said
Yeah.
before, yeah, it's very important to manipulate your lot size instead of your stop loss. So I do decide my stop loss before everything, and then I do measure the distance in pips from my entry point, and with that, with a mathematical formula, I do manipulate the lot size.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you keep a journal of your trades, what you did, both good and bad?
Yes, I do. I definitely do. And the reason why is because I am a believer that to be a successful trader, you need three big pillars of a successful trader, which are, first of all, the knowledge, secondly, the capital, and thirdly, and arguably the most important thing, is to have a good mindset. So the psychological part. And within the psychological part, I do find that having a mentor, it's very important. And if you don't keep a journal of your trade, you can't let your mentor to analyze them. So I do tend to write down every single trade, because at the end of the month, I do have a couple of mentors, because you will need a mentor, every single, even if you are the best trader in the world, you will need a mentor. Even Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, they need a coach, right?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah,
Yeah.
You will need a mentor, even if you're trading for 50 years. So yeah, I do have a trading journal. Yeah.
Do you think being a great trader is an innate skill?
No, I think everyone can learn it, but the thing that you have to be aware is that not everyone is passionate about this matter. So if you have a passion around trading, you can learn it, and you can do very, very well. But at the same time, if you have no passion whatsoever and you're doing it just because of the money or just because other kind of things, it's going to be hard. It's going to be harder, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's like most things in life, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So generally, when you're trading, do you have a sort of an approach, which is to say you see a loss, that's it, go, get rid of it, or you see you're on a winning streak,
Okay.
and a lot of people will think, oh, I'm seeing some profit, I must take it before it goes down.
Yeah.
Do you find you have a good patience to let the winners run, and you're kind of very ruthless or disciplined with your losses? Is that kind of your approach, or is there something in between?
Yeah, no, I get the question. So basically, my approach is, it's very simple. So I have different strategy with with different set of rules, and I stick with the rule. I stick with the plan. So let's say one of my strategies has some sort of rules, and the risk management with that strategy is I do risk 1 to get 1. So the risk reward ratio is 1 to 1. And even though if I'm getting 98% of the trade, I don't close it till it reach 100% of my take profit. So I have different strategies, and with I am very I stick with the plan. I never change my plan. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very disciplined with that. Because you don't have to be a robot, but you need to keep your emotions outside.
In check.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Is there anything you can single out as the most important element in deciding to put on a trade?
Yeah, sticking with your trading plan. So probably if you developed a strategy, or if you learned a strategy from someone else, you will have a set of rules. And when you have a set of rules, you need to satisfy every single of them before taking the trade. So if you stick with the plan, if you stick with the, within the this kind of boundaries, it's very hard for you to make the wrong decision, because as I said before, if your strategy has a positive expectancy, you will mathematically be right out of 100 trades or 1,000 trades.
Yeah. Can you think of any good examples of market tone tipping you off on a trade?
Not really, because as I said before, I do place my stop loss and take profits, or I do have some exit rule. So it's very hard for me to just go and just cut my just close the position just because I heard something, or because I found another hot stock or something like that. I don't do that, and I think that is a very bad habit, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Do you teach other traders yourself?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. I have a team. Yeah.
Yeah. You have a team. Okay.
Yeah.
How often do you do that?
So it's I do have my materials, of course. I have a couple of courses that I built in these 7 years, and they're quite comprehensive about everything, about technical, fundamental, and all this kind of stuff. So I do give away I do give my course to my traders, and then on a weekly basis we do have group reviews and group coaching, group mentorship.
Okay.
So yeah.
Through Zoom, or is it one-to-one, or a small group on Zoom or something like that?
Usually Skype when we do one-to-one, but we have Blue Jeans as a it's like Zoom basically.
Yeah.
It's another platform. Yeah.
Okay. Have a good proportion of your students gone on to become successful traders in their own right?
I would say 25%. And I'm
That's pretty high, really.
I'm being very honest with that, because if you if you have 10 traders, you 5 of them, they don't put the work. So I do use ClickFunnels. I don't know if you know ClickFunnels. It's a quite famous platform. So basically, you can host your courses and your video courses. I do have all the members register within ClickFunnels, and I can see who completed the course and who didn't.
Yeah.
And even though my course is you have to pay to have my course, even though you need to pay, most of them, they never finish the course.
Yeah.
And it's like
they just get ground down or lose money. Or, yeah.
Mm. And it happens to me once when I was like 19 years old or 20 years old. I said I want to develop my computing skills and programming skills. So I went out, I bought one course about programming and this kind of stuff. Yeah. I paid a lot, like $5,000, and I never finished it. So I don't blame them. It's the thing that I said before. It's if you have a passion about it, you will finish it. I have one student. I think one of the most successful students. His called Jeff. It's called Jeff, and he is from Oregon, US.
Yeah.
And he in 1 week he finished the course. And he has a 9-to-5 job. Actually, he works like 50 hours a week.
That would be really impressive.
He works 50 hours a week, and he had a family. But in 1 week, he managed to finish the course. And in his first month, he made more than 2K just with trading, with a fairly good amount of capital invested, of course, but for his first month, it was quite impressive, outstanding. Yeah.
Your course it comprises essentially videos, maybe some things to read, maybe ebooks or downloadable material, and then the one-to-one sessions that you do. Is that once a week with each student, or once every 2 weeks?
Yeah. So mainly it's a video. It's a video course. So mainly it's videos, but you have also some downloadable material. And I keep in touch with them with a private group on Facebook. So every single day they have no questions about, this forex pair, that forex pair, or maybe this strategy or that strategy.
Yeah.
And I do answer personally to all of them. So
it keeps you busy, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And is it all forex, or do you cover trading?
No, for now it's all forex, to be honest. Yeah. But in the future we'll never know. But it's but I like it, to be honest. Trading sometimes it's pretty boring to trade, because when you have no movement whatsoever in the market, you can't force it.
You're just waiting, aren't you, really?
You're just waiting. You can't force it, because if you force it, you're gonna lose money. And I learned this in the hard way in the past. So I know that when I don't see any kind of movements, I just just have to wait. So
Yeah.
this is something that I do in between. So I do answer to my students, to my team, and once a week we have a group review. It's not a one-to-one, it's like a group review of some trades. It's like a live session
Yeah.
where we answer some questions about trading in general, and we review some trades. But sometimes they do need a personal session one-to-one, and I never say no. Because I think it's very important to offer the best service ever, and I think the one-to-one session is very important, especially if you are a complete beginner.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, is the fun aspect still there? If you're, having been doing this for quite a while, how do you achieve balance and avoid burnout? Because can be pretty.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. So it's still there, but it's quite unconventional. I do like the chart itself. So the actual chart, I do like to watch the chart, and it's like a video game for me. So the fun aspect it's definitely still there for me. But I do get your question, because most of the traders, if they trade for 10 years almost, probably all of them are going to be in some sort of way tired of it.
Yeah. Ground down.
Yeah, exactly.
Possibly.
But yeah, I am obsessed with this thing. So I actually enjoy it, and it happened with other thing in my life, where I stayed focused on one thing for 16 hours straight without leaving the desk. So I do enjoy this thing. Yeah, still.
Yeah. When you hit a losing streak, how do you handle that?
I stick to the plan. I try to to be in that state of mind where for example, one of my ritual in the morning, I just read my trading plan before every single session. And in my trading plan, I have the classical questions like what, why, how, where, etc. So I have answered all of them, and I do read every single time before sitting at the desk for my trading session. I do read my trading plan, and it's very important, especially if you have a losing streak, because that if you stick with the rules, if you stick with that strategy, that you will be mathematically, as I said, successful. So yeah, I do stick with the plan. That's all.
Are there any newsletters or websites you pay close attention to?
Yeah, the short answer is yes, I do check newsletters in general. The more elaborate answer is Baby Pips is the best newsletter that I have ever read in my entire career, because they first of all, for beginners, for complete beginners, they have an amazing trading school, forex school. So if you have no clue whatsoever, Baby Pips is a good point to start. But they aren't telling you any proprietary strategy. So if you're looking for like a holy grail or like a good strategy, you won't find it on Baby Pit. But if you are a complete beginner, like you don't even know what is like a candle for a candlestick chart, or if you don't know what is a stop loss or stuff like that, go on Baby Peeps. It's free. They have this amazing school and this amazing newsletter, and that is the best one. But yeah, I do check some newsletter, but I don't I don't rely on them to take my trades.
Yeah, just earlier we mentioned fundamental analysis and how that can play a part. You gave the example of Brexit as having messed up your plans quite nicely, along with lots of other people, just in day-to-day life. But are there any other examples you can pull out of your your sort of history?
When you have these major events like Brexit, for example, you will see it on the chart, and you will see that there is a lot of volatility in the market, and everything you planned before basically it's just burnt. But at the same time, I don't believe that having this kind of monthly release, monthly releases aren't affecting that much the chart. So if you have a strict strategy with a strict plan with strict rules, even though you can lose a couple of trades out of for example the unemployment rate, or the NFP, or other kind of situation like that, in the long term you will be right, because when you are when you backtest the strategy, you take into consideration also this kind of periods. You don't skip them, you don't filter them. You take into consideration also those kind of periods. So if you have an expectancy of, let's say, 75% of winning trades with an expected value of plus 25, let's say, so every single trade that you make, you do get 25 pounds in average. You know that out of 100 trades, you probably you will make 2,500 pounds. So you already know that. So you don't need to change your strategy because of fundamental. That is what I believe.
Yeah, yeah. What is besides over trading? What other mistakes do novice traders typically make?
The biggest mistake is as I said, the stop loss, and not manipulating the lot size properly. The second thing is focusing on money and not on the on percentages. And let me explain this a little bit. It's very important actually, because as I said before, if you focus into on money, basically you aren't giving yourself enough time to develop the skills that you need to be a successful trader. Because if you have 10K and you expect to be like a millionaire in 2 months, you basically set up for yourself for failure. So you will never make it. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Instead, if you focus on the skills and if you focus on the percentages, let's say after 1 year, you see that basically you made an average of 15% a month. Okay, with that 10K, you made 15% a month consistently for 12 months. I can promise you that you will find someone that will fund you will fund you with a lot of capital, will fund you with even £1 million. So at that point, if you make 15% a month with £1 million, you're making a lot of money. So don't focus on money at the beginning. Just focus on learning the skills behind trading. And I guarantee if you can produce a result around those lines, like 10 to 15% a month consistently, of course you will never have like 15, 15, 15, 15. You will have something like 9, 17, 13, etc. Exactly. At the end of the 12 months, you have a track record. And when you have a track record, basically you will get funded by people. And trust me, it happens every single day.
Cool. And so you have a number of your own clients, I imagine.
I do. I have a couple of them. I don't. This is like a policy that I have. I never trade for friends and family.
Yeah, it's too close,
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
And also, the amount of money that someone wants to invest should be significant, because I can't risk to ruin like some kind of relationship that I have with somebody for 2K. I don't want to risk, because I think personal relations are very important, more than money, definitely. It's 50%, 50K. Yeah.
So what's your minimum account size that you look at?
Because also, for the bureaucratic aspect of the thing,
50,
you need to comply with a couple of things, and you need to open a company for that money. You can't do it like as in a fund, but instead you need to, if you do day trading, you need to open a company which has you as 50% holder, holder of the shares, and the other person. So it's quite complicated, with on a bureaucratic standpoint. But I do believe that knowledge it's very important. And when I say knowledge, I not necessarily mean like reading a lot of books or reading a lot of articles. But for example, knowledge could be having a reliable, proven system with a set of rules that is being back tested for a considerable amount of time and amount of trades, and that has a positive expected value. And I know I am obsessed with this kind of data, like expected value, expectancy. I do repeat, this kind of things a lot, but that is because I think that, the turning point for me was when I approached this professionally and I started to analyze my expectancy and the expected value. So yeah, I think it's very important.
Okay, Mark, we're going to wrap it up here. Many thanks for talking to me. I'm going to put out some links about your courses along with a podcast. How do we find you anyway while we're still on air?
You can find me on YouTube. Just search for Mark Prime, and you'll find my videos. If you want to direct message me, just use my Facebook page. I do answer every single question every single time.
Mark, that was great. Thanks very much for being on the show.
All right, thank you. Bye.
And in my next episode, I'll be talking to South African trader Cecil Lawrence, who deals in currency options. Join in for that one.